The highway goes silent. No engine roar, no tire hum, no air brakes hissing at rest stops. Interstate 95, the artery that moves half the goods on the East Coast, has stopped. Not a traffic jam, not construction delays, a complete shutdown. From Miami to Maine, 1,900 miles of asphalt sit empty, and in 7 days, the shelves will be bare. You've probably driven on I-95 without thinking twice about it. Maybe you've sat in traffic cursing the trucks that clog the lanes. But those trucks are the only reason your grocery store has food, your gas station has fuel, your pharmacy has medicine. I-95 carries 40% of all freight traffic on the East Coast. It's the supply line for 110 million people. And if it shuts down, not for a day, but for a week, the entire region doesn't just slow down. It stops. And if you've never thought about what happens when the trucks can't move, hit subscribe. This one's going to change how you see every highway you've ever taken for granted. It's Monday morning. You're driving to work, merging onto I-95 South just outside Philadelphia. The usual lineup of tractor trailers stretches ahead. FedEx, Amazon, Walmart. Traffic is heavy but moving. You glance at the digital sign overhead. All lanes open. Travel time to Baltimore, 1 hour 45 minutes. Normal. This is what I-95 looks like every day. A continuous flow of commerce. You exit before Baltimore, head to your office. Somewhere in the background, your phone buzzes with a news alert. Major structural failure reported on I-95 bridge in Delaware. Highway closed indefinitely. You don't think much of it. Probably a local issue. But by lunchtime, yet the alerts are multiplying. I-95 closure extended, all northbound and southbound traffic halted. Emergency inspections underway on multiple I-95 bridges following Delaware collapse. Transportation officials, I-95 shutdown could last up to 1 week. That's when you start to pay attention. 1 week, the entire highway, closed. By Monday afternoon, the news is everywhere. A bridge over the Christina River in Delaware has partially collapsed. Early investigations point to structural fatigue, decades-old infrastructure, deferred maintenance, a critical support beam that finally gave out. But the bridge is gone, and it's not just that one bridge. Engineers are now inspecting every major span along the I-95 corridor. Dozens of bridges built in the same era, with the same design, under the same load conditions, and they're finding cracks. Stress fractures, degradation. The Federal Highway Administration makes the call, shut it all down until inspections are complete and repairs can be made. Estimated timeline, 1 week. From the Canadian border to Key West, I-95 is closed. No through traffic, no commercial vehicles, no exceptions. The reaction is immediate. Trucking companies scramble to reroute. Logistics managers pull up maps, looking for alternatives. But there aren't many. I-95 is the main corridor. The other interstates weren't designed to handle this kind of volume. A trip that normally takes 10 hours on I-95 could take 18 on the alternate routes. By Monday evening, those alternate highways are gridlocked. Trucks backed up for miles, barely moving. And the clock is ticking. Because the freight those trucks are carrying, it has a destination. So, a delivery window. A shelf it's supposed to be on by Tuesday morning, and it's not going to make it. Here's what most people don't understand about supply chains. Everything runs on schedules. Tight, inflexible schedules. A truck leaves a warehouse in Georgia at 6 p.m. It's supposed to arrive at a distribution center in New Jersey by 8 a.m. the next day. From there, goods are sorted, loaded onto smaller trucks, and delivered to stores by noon. The entire system is calibrated around those timelines. If the truck is late by even a few hours, the schedule breaks. Shelves stay empty. Now imagine every truck on the East Coast is delayed by a full day, or 2 days, or more. That's what happens when I-95 shuts down. I-95 carries over 160,000 trucks per day. That's nearly 1.2 million trucks per week. Each one loaded with goods destined for grocery stores, pharmacies, gas stations, hospitals, factories. And suddenly, none of them can move. Some try the alternate routes, but those highways are overwhelmed within hours. What should be a 10-hour drive becomes 20. Drivers are hitting mandatory rest periods before they even reach their destinations. The delays compound. Other trucking companies make a different call. Wait it out. Park the trucks. Don't waste fuel and driver hours fighting gridlock. But that means the freight just sits. In warehouses, in distribution centers, on loading docks, not moving. By Tuesday morning, the first shortages appear. fresh produce, dairy, meat. The things that have to move fast because they spoil. A grocery store in Boston usually gets a produce delivery every morning. Lettuce, tomatoes, berries, also all trucked up from farms in Florida and Georgia. Tuesday's delivery doesn't arrive. The manager checks with the distributor. Trucks stuck in Virginia, rerouted to I-81. Won't be there until Wednesday, maybe Thursday. The store puts out what they have left, but by the afternoon, the produce section is looking thin. Same story in New York, in Philadelphia, in Baltimore. Stores aren't empty yet, but they're noticeably less full, and it's only day 2. Think about what a modern city actually needs to function. Food, fuel, medicine. Almost none of it is produced locally. It's imported, trucked in. I-95 isn't just a highway. It's a lifeline. 40% of the East Coast population lives within 50 miles of it. Major cities, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, Richmond, Charlotte, Jacksonville, even Miami, all depend on it. And it's not just consumer goods. Hospitals rely on daily deliveries of medical supplies. Manufacturing plants need raw materials delivered on time. If the truck is stuck on I-81, production stops. Gas stations get fuel delivered by tanker trucks. When deliveries stop, they run dry. You go to the grocery store on Wednesday. The parking lot is busier than usual. People are stocking up. Inside, the produce section is half empty. The meat counter is running low. Dairy is still okay, but the selection is limited. You grab what you can. You drive home with half of what you came for. By Thursday, things get worse. The produce section is bare. The meat counter is empty. The shelves that held bread, empty. Pasta, gone. People are panic buying. Anything that's left, they're grabbing. And the gas station near your house has a line stretching down the block. By Friday, pharmacies are running low on prescriptions, life-saving drugs, insulin, blood pressure medication. This is the reality most people don't see until it happens. Modern life is built on the assumption that the supply chain works, that trucks will always deliver, that roads will always be open. But when that assumption breaks, everything else breaks with it. By Saturday, the stores have given up trying to restock. Some have started rationing, 1 gallon of milk per customer. People are getting creative. Neighbors are sharing food. Community groups are organizing. But it's not enough. Because the problem isn't just local, it's regional. Every city from Boston to Miami is facing the same shortages. There's no neighboring town with surplus to share. And I-95 is still closed. Think about who gets hit hardest. It's not the people with money. They stocked up early. It's everyone else. Families living paycheck to paycheck. Single parents who can't afford to stockpile groceries. Elderly people on fixed incomes who depend on affordable food from the local store. These are the ones standing in empty aisles, trying to figure out what to feed their kids tonight. Parents with infants are running out of formula. There's no substitute for formula. When it's gone, it's gone. By Sunday, food banks are overwhelmed. Lines stretch for blocks. People who've never needed assistance before are showing up. The food banks are trying to help, but their supplies come from the same distribution networks, the same trucks that aren't running, so they're running low too. And the human cost isn't just hunger, and it's stress, anxiety, the psychological weight of not knowing where your next meal is coming from. Parents lying awake at night, wondering how they're going to feed their kids tomorrow. It's not dramatic, it's not cinematic. It's just quiet, grinding desperation. The financial toll is catastrophic. Retailers are losing billions. Trucking companies are hemorrhaging money. Manufacturers are losing production time. The port of Savannah is backed up. Container ships are arriving, but there's no way to move the cargo inland. But money doesn't fix the immediate problem, because the problem isn't just financial, it's logistical, and logistics take time to rebuild. On Sunday evening, the announcement finally comes. I-95 will reopen Monday morning. Emergency repairs have been completed. The highway is safe. People breathe a sigh of relief. Whilst it's over, except it's not. Because even when the highway reopens, the trucks still need time to move, to deliver, to restock. It'll take days before shelves are full again, maybe a week. And some of the damage, business closures, lost contracts, broken trust, won't heal quickly. The highway is open, but the scars remain. This didn't have to be this bad. Infrastructure can be maintained, bridges can be inspected regularly, replaced before they fail. I-95 should be treated as critical infrastructure. That means redundancy, backup routes that can handle the volume. Supply chains can be redesigned for resilience. Stores could keep larger inventories. Regional distribution centers could stockpile essentials for emergencies, and communication could be better. People didn't know how serious this was until the shelves were already empty. It's not paranoia. It's planning for the reality that infrastructure fails, roads close, bridges collapse, and when they do, people still need to eat. The question isn't whether I-95 will have problems again. It's when, and whether next time we'll be ready. By the end of the second week, things start to return to normal. Trucks are moving again, deliveries resume, shelves are restocked, people go back to their routines. But something has changed. Every time they pass a truck on I-95, they think about it. They don't take the grocery store for granted anymore because they've seen what happens when it's not. 1 week, that's all it took for the system to break. Not a natural disaster, not a war, not a cyber attack, just a bridge. And the realization that everything we depend on moves through a network that's more fragile than we ever imagined. The trucks are rolling again, but the question lingers. What happens next time? The highway is full again. Trucks in every lane, moving south, moving north, carrying the goods that keep the East Coast running. You're driving home from work, merging onto I-95, watching the taillights stretch ahead into the distance, and you can't help but wonder, how long would you last if they stopped? Not someday, not hypothetically, right now. If this changed the way you think about the roads you drive every day, drop a comment. What would you do if this happened in your city? And if you want more breakdowns of the systems we never notice until they fail, subscribe, because the next closure is always just one bridge away.